So I have a footage. This footage I just simply downloaded from internet. I think it's okay. Okay. So this is the footage that I'm going to try later, the box. Okay. So the box is really clear there. Tracking marker is there. The box is there. The movement is not so complex. The finger doesn't move too much. It's just rotating the box. Okay. So I'm expecting to see something like this for your assignment when you shoot your footage. Something like this, right? If you want to go crazy, make sure you know what you are doing. It's fine to go crazy, but make sure that you know what you are doing. You don't go crazy, but then you ruin the process of tracking it, and then you're struggling it, and it will take 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks to finish. Please don't, right? So my expectation is something like this. If you want to go crazy, up to you. It's your challenge to finish your assignment. Okay. This is 177 frames. Not too short, not too long, but I think, I already prepped this file and I rendered something out of this. So I'll just gonna skip some of the parts, and you have to go through that parts later, just to shorten the time, to cut time. I think I already prepped, so I'll show you on how to do it. But let's say rendering will take about 10 minutes to finish, but I'll just skip that 10 minutes. I already have the things that I already rendered before. Okay, so I'll show you the process. So since right after you install KineTools, so when you open it, you will see this tools with K icon over here, K for KineTool. Alright, so in KineTools, you can see there's a 3D and 3D Classic, and under 3D Classic there's a lot of tools. You have Geo Tracker, you have Pin Tool, Rig Geo, Face Builder, Face Tracker, Facial Expression, Texture Builder, Blend Shape. I think if you've taken animation class, right? No, haven't. Some. Okay, some of you have taken. You know what, by right, you know what is blend shape. So basically, you're brushing some part, you're following that movement, some part you're not following it, or maybe just 50% of following the movement. So you can do blend shape like here. But that is not the things that I'm going to show. I'm just going to focus on geo tracking since the task here to track the box. So before you track the box, as usual, the size of this footage is 720. Make sure your size format is 720. That is the first ever things that you need to set before you move on, and then save the project just in case if it crashes in the middle of the process. Okay, so safety first. Save before it crash. Your project setting is set to 720 based on the footage input size, and then analyze the footage. Okay, aside from tracking tracking the object, what else is moving, if you notice? Other than the box is moving, what other things is moving as well? Camera. Camera is moving, camera is not locked. Okay? So camera also need to be tracked. If it's static, you don't have to track. Camera moving, you have to track. Okay? Okay, so First thing, before you do key tool, camera track first. This one as usual lah. Okay. I know previously when I do a tutorial for 3D camera track, you need to roto out certain things that are moving in the footage as well. Like for example, this one, in this case, is the hand. I'll skip that part. There's a way on how to cheat, but by right, you should roto out, just to make sure that there's no other thing that is moving in the footage other than the camera. Okay, so I'll skip that part. I'm just gonna try. There is shortcut. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, solve. By right, okay, 0.85 error should be okay, but you will notice that there is a tracking data or tracking point inside that moving object, which is you don't need that. Okay, classic way like previously that you did, roto out first, then you track, right? Still, that is really important and it still works. But it depends on the situation. You can use the auto track setting over here to remove that tracking point in that moving object. I'll show you really quick. Just delete the unsolved first, which is the orange tracking marker, and then delete rejected, which is on the red marker. Gone, but still have here, 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 here. You have here, here, and here, here, and also here. Okay? So you don't want that. You can filter those things by go to auto track here. This is a bit tricky. The process why I'm selecting certain things, you do your own research. So I'm just going to select the RMS, error and max error combine. Shift select or control these two, RMS and also max track. The line is up there, you can see the line. But these are the point and the error located in the graph form. So you just reduce the line. That is the ceiling, right? Now those tracking marker becomes red, which is rejected already. And delete rejected. Boom, you don't have that marker anymore. Lastly, just to refine more, go to max and tally with max error. Ceiling is really high up there, but then the point is there. Just lower it down, which is, this is the max line, ceiling, and whatever beyond that line, just remove, which is this one, red. Remove unsolved. So you don't have that tracking marker in that box anymore. So and then the error has become 0.57. Okay. And now you're done with this, and then you get the Scene Plus. Basically, it can be camera, it can be a manual attached with the notes, but Scene Plus is you have the sets of it lah. You need the camera and you need the scene later on. Okay. You can just double check on scene and see the camera whether there's a movement or not. You can see it's moving. It's moving, following the footages. Okay. Okay. This is a time where you need to get the key tools, right? In this case, I'm just going to use only one tool from Hintool, which is GeoTracker. So it's going to track the geometric object, which is the box. Okay. It's pretty clear over here. You have cam, you have geo, you have BG. BG is the background, geo is the geometry, cam is the camera. Okay. So camera, connect to the camera. Geo, leave it there first. BG background means the footage, connect to the background. Okay, so geo, what is the geo? Here, in this case, in this footage, what is the geo? The box. So by right, you should have the model of the box. But in this case, I don't have it, but I'm just gonna do a dummy because later on, I'm gonna put something on top of that box. I'm not replacing the box, but I'm gonna put something on top of the box. But if you want to replace the box, you need to model first with the right dimension in Maya and bring that OBJ file into here. Okay, if you have the file, just drag it in the notes and just connect this geo to that notes. That's it. But if you don't have it, I'm just gonna get the cube as a dummy and just connect it. Connect to the cube. Okay. And where is the cube? Okay, this is the time for you to check the properties in GeoTracker. There's a lot of things before you get the cube. First thing, okay, when you go to the properties, there's a lot of stuff over here. Don't panic. We're gonna use only certain parts. The rest of it later on, maybe you have time to research by your own, but I'll show you the basic one. The most important part is analyze input. Without this analyze input, you cannot proceed with the tracking. You cannot even export whatever tracking data from the box that you have tracked. Okay? So I'm just gonna click. Okay, there's aside from properties on the right side. You also have this feature on top of the footage on the viewport. You have geo, center geo, refine all, pin, remove pin, toggle pin. I'm just gonna use certain tools over here. First is center geo. That wireframe will come out, and that is the center geo of the cube that you have here. If you have a circle, if you click center geo, a wireframe of the circle will come out. This from a 2D perspective. That's why you have this flat square shape, but it's actually in 3D. So select the center point here and move it to the center point over here. Okay. Again, remember, this is the initial point or pin that you're going to use. You're not going to use this pin. Remember, make sure that this pin, later on, you will delete it just to align back with the tracking marker on the box. You're not going to use it, but this is the first initial step for you to start to align with the box. So I'm just going to take this corner and put on that corner. Okay. Put it there. This corner align with that corner. Here, here, and that area is there. When you align, does it align? No, right? Doesn't align, right? Reason why? Because you have a wrong dimension of the cube. The cube is in 2 times 2 times 2. Everything in exact measurement, 2 times 2 times 2. While the box is not cube, it's a rectangle shape. In rectangle shape, it has their own dimension. Just to fast forward, this one you have to figure it out. I mean, in this case you have to figure it out. What are the size? Because I don't have the size. I have the data that I've used before. So go to cube. X-axis is 0.9 in this case, but this one, the number is not exact number. Depends on your footage that you are using later. You are not using this footage. I'm not going to provide this footage. You are using your own footage. It depends on your, the box or dummy that you are using. This is 0.63, 0.63, 0.8. Okay. So I'm just going to align back this to this, center to center, corner to corner. Okay, and then this part, corner to corner, this part, and then that part, try to align as accurate as possible, corner to corner. X. I think there's the Z. Need to extend a bit, just to align with the end point over here. Okay, let's say this is roughly. Find the shape. Okay, so assuming this is a shape that you have tracked, okay, corner to corner, just let it be behind them, because I can see the curve on top of this, which is not aligned. At least you have the basic shape. By right, you should model it properly in Maya, and then you bring the model to Nuke, then you have the actual size This is, I mean, the curve over here because of the top part, while the cube that I have is really straight line. So that's why it's not aligned, but it's okay. That is not the point that you're going to track. Remember the point that I mentioned just now, which is the tracking marker and the pin. This is the pin, right? And the pin that you are not using for tracking later. Remember that your point should be pinned on the tracking marker, not on the corner. Unless your corner has tracking marker. Okay? This is just initial step to start before you analyze the shape. Okay, right after you align the cube and the box or whatever dummy, then only you go to GeoTracker. You need to sign a folder, object, track, precal, box 01 is the name of the file that I'm going to use to analyze, right? So just rename it like box underscore whatever number, whatever names that you want to give for the object, and then automatically it will set you dot pre-calculate, right? So after you have this, then you analyze, right? Click analyze, go to frame range that you have 1 to 177, just click OK. So it will analyze for you. It will take some time depending on how long your footage. I mean, actually, I can skip this part. Yeah. So after you analyze, okay. Okay, so after you analyze, done with analyzing the pre-calculation, by right you should have this, and then with the yeah, correct. Hold on, I'm just gonna save this. Sorry, I'm just gonna save this and no, I cannot save this actually. I skipped some part. Okay, never mind. I'll continue with this. We do it one more time. Okay. After you after you analyze this geonode, then only you track the object. So since I accidentally start at 156 here, the keyframe, that's why you have blue color over here, which is already keyframe. So I'm just gonna take this, track forward, and go back to this 156 and track backward. Okay, I'm not satisfied with it because you can see some like shaking over here because I'm not pinned on the tracking marker that I mentioned just now. Because when I pin here, that is not a tracking marker because it's quite flat, the color, there's no texture over there to track. That's why the tracking is really loose over there. Okay, that is why you need to track and pin on the tracking marker, not on the corner. If your corner has sharp edges, contrast, texture, it's fine. But I don't have it here, that's why it's shaking over here. Okay, so this is where you need to just pin. Add the tracking marker over there, tracking marker over here, maybe over here, another one here, another one here, here, maybe here, 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 maybe here, and another one here. Okay. So the one that I have pinned just now, I'm just going to remove this and remove pin. Click just once and then remove pin. Remove pin. Remove pin. Remove pin. Remove. This one just leave it there because I have the point. This one remove. Then I'm just gonna do another one more time to track. To retrack again, backward and forward, you can just click refine all. See first before it crash. Okay now? Shaking? Not shaking, right? Tracking over here, not shaking anymore. Okay, so basically you're done, right? This is not accurate because I don't have the model. This is just a dummy on top of a dummy. By right, you should have an actual measurement for the size, the measurement of the dummy. So you model it based on the measurement, and then you put it here and track. By right, that is the actual process. So since I don't have, and this also the footage is not not mine, so I don't have the measurement of the box, but somehow I can just roughly know on how long and how, I mean the measurement, the wide, the distance in this in front of this camera basically, and then in the footage. So if you go to the scene, if you go change to tab, okay, you have the camera and you have the box, and that is the box, okay, and the box is animated there with the camera also moving. So you have two things, camera moving and also together with the box is also moving, okay. So since you're happy with it, you want to bring this to Maya. You want to put something on top of that box. Alright, I'll show you on how to do it. It can be something on top of that box or replace the whole box. Up to you. Or not just only box, other things as well, like holding a sword, lightsaber, other whatever lah, whatever stuff that you're holding that you want to change to a CG asset. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna save this first. So same thing like the one that you did in camera track assignment, where you need to write geo and export the FBX. It's the same thing. Okay. But maybe a few things slightly different where, okay, before that, this one, put it in scene so that you have everything in one scene. Okay. Okay, you need a right geo. And right geo connect to scene. Okay. And double click on right geo. This is right geo, by the way. And as usual, go to your folder. Let's say track film box. Let's say I give it a name like OBJ track data.fbx as usual, fbx. The only thing is different is you need to click this animate max vertices. Otherwise you won't export together with the animation. Okay? If you don't click this bar will move in Maya. Just click this one and then export. That's it. Execute, go to global range 11 to 177 and click OK. Okay, there you go. So you have the file, which is this one. Under this folder, you have obj track data.fbx. This is one. You will need another folder, which is coming up from new itself, which is obj track data fbx fpc. Don't worry, it will come out automatically once you click this animate mesh vertices. So when you bring to Maya, import this FBX into viewport, it will attach with this folder. Make sure this folder is there. Do not delete. Okay? Because it carry the catch file of the animation. Right? XML and also MCX file inside that folder. So do not delete this. Or if let's say you are working, you track on laptop and then suddenly Maya you want to do in PC, on your PC let's say, please bring together with this folder. Do not just bring FBX. You won't have the animation later. Okay? Bring this too. Right, so I'm just gonna bring this.